Welcome to Auckland, Tuesday nights in the SRL. Round 6, it's the Brisbane Broncos away to the Auckland Warriors. 4 versus 5 in the Season 3 standings. We are counting down towards finals footy. Joining me in the commentary box, as always on a Tuesday night, it's Jack O'Neill. Jack, what a time of the year to be following the SRL.
This tonight could be the biggest night in the SRL season so far. Of course, all 4 teams are vying for 3rd and 4th position in the SRL. Winners of both these teams could lock up a final spot. It is going down to the wire. I'm pumped for these next 2 games.
That's right, on the table it's the Broncos currently in 4th, it's the Warriors in 5th. Broncos on 6 points. A win here tonight would wrap a final spot up for them. It would end the Warriors season possibly if other results don't go their way, as Miguel gets the game underway live on SRL TV, your home of Simulation Rugby League. Round 6 underway. It's the Broncos. First possession of the game. And we see Tyler Weston back on that left wing after a last minute pulling out of that game last week. Jack, it was Weston didn't make his way onto that left wing. I think it was Tyson Payne who got a start for the Broncos.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's Herman up just short of a 20. Good first set here for the Broncos as they go deep into Warriors territory.
5, hold on the 10.
Looking to get the start they need. They haven't had the best of starts this season as Raymond puts it on the toe. Too heavy as Bunce easily collects that one. Good chase by the Broncos forwards, but a little bit too heavy off the toe of Levi Raymond.
Yeah, good first set for the Broncos. They really shifted the ball well, made some good inroads in defence. We didn't see Michael Crimp on his right edge get a run, but Weston had a run and proved dangerous. I think that's the key at the moment. I think the Broncos need to get Crimp some ball so that he can make an impact on the defence. As for the Warriors, they will not be kicking to Crimp at all. He was absolutely outstanding last week.
4 runs for 198 metres, Michael Crimp. Dangerous.
He's become their X Factor.
He has become their X Factor player. Not the deepest of kick for the Warriors after their first set. It's Herman as the Broncos go into the Warriors half, but an error on the first tackle. It could have been Jack Spillane who put that one down. And that lets the Warriors off the hook after that poor kick to end their first set.
Yeah, that was a diabolical error from the Broncos. Of course, their starts have been terrible in recent weeks. They led in the first try against Penrith. They led in about 4 tries against Parramatta in the first half last week. But their second halves have been what have really shone through for the Broncos. But right there, they're giving the Warriors a really good chance to have one of those good starts.
And it's the Warriors who have been quite contrary, have been starting well so far this season. Simons on the wing, Isaac Simons down the sideline. Taking it a good tackle, and referee Rasmussen will say take it back to the 10 for the restart.
That was some really good ball movement from the Warriors.
As they go to Ngo this time, setting it up centre field. 6 metres out, just to the right of the uprights as they come left. McCartney on the toe, McCartney. Good chase from the Warriors. Outside backs as Raymond has to struggle to force himself back into the field of play and does well.
Crimp. Yeah, that was a really good kick from McCartney. Probably could have gone a bit deeper though. That was the downfall. The chase was really strong from the Warriors as well, but it was just a really, really tough effort from Levi Raymond to get out of there. Good stuff from the Broncos, number 7.
Showing good strength to force his way back into the field of play. It's the Broncos kicking on the fire. It's a horrible kick by Cherry Evans.
Not the play at all.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was going for the 40-20 or looking for Crimp on the side. McCartney drops it this time. Straight into the hands of Tom O'Mac. Goosey's round Bunce. Eventually taken by Corker, and around the ankles was Nanai. But both teams with a couple of early butterflies to start this one.
Yeah, both really poor plays from the halves of both teams. McCartney dropping that ball, or well, I think he might have tried to throw the ball, flick the ball out the back, but it was knocked back by the Broncos and picked up by another player.
Mango on his outside. I think he was looking for the big prop.
Back to 10.
Running
And then
off
you
his
look at
shoulder.
Let him up.
Yeah, and then you look at that kick from Cherry Evans. I think he was going across field to try and hit Crimp. We did say Crimp needs to be more involved, but that's not the way you get him involved when you're working the ball out. That's really poor halves play from Cherry Evans. He knows better than that.
Diab tried to run it from dummy half. He'll be caught on the 5th as Mack will go deep to Raymond. On the toe!
Oh,
the king of assists! Clark picks it up, but what defence by John Nanai! One of the strongest players in the SRL, and he held Clark up like a piece of candy floss.
Yeah, they look dangerous in that set, the Broncos. Coda Diab, I haven't really seen him try and crash over from dummy half much. He has played a lot of the forwards this year. Maybe that's, you know, something he could bring into his game. It'd be pretty dangerous from close range. It was a beautiful kick there from Levi Raymond. Of course, he's got try assists for days this season, but desperation from the Warriors, good stuff.
9 assists between Cherry Evans and Raymond so far this season, the best combination in the competition. And speaking of Coda Diab, so he's not the smallest hooker on the field. And started his career at the Broncos in the lock position, but has moved into that hooking role, moving Jason Farah to the bench.
Oh,
good offload there for Renault.
Oh, nice pass.
In turns finds Raymond. The Broncos with all the territory in the first 11 or so minutes of this game as Veredo charges onto that one. And Rogers around the waist. Good quick play the ball as well as Raymond decides to take the line on. He's up only 5 metres short here. Big numbers to the right if the Broncos want it. They don't. Diab goes back to Herbert on the final, and the Warriors charge up and chop them down.
It's been the end of sets for both sides that are really letting them down at the moment. Whoever makes the necessary adjustments will go a long way into taking control of this game. Both sets of halves need to stand up.
Bust through the middle from Bunce. Grabs an extra few metres. Near side, they come to Walker.
He's held 3. He's held there.
I know the Warriors are still discussing their side for season 4. It's Borton Thompson and Walker, who you'd say will be definitely vying for that wing spot alongside Tato Maxwell and Isaac Simons as they go to Corcoran. Patrick Corcoran gets the good offload. Taken down in a good tackle by Levi Raymond, but the Warriors, their first attacking opportunity of the game as McCartney comes near side to Borton Thompson, but Crimp does well. And the Broncos back out to the 20, but what a good kick from McCartney.
Yeah, a much, much better result for John McCartney.
Didn't have the best of games last season as the Warriors through Daniel Ingo have picked up an intercept inside the Broncos 20. So another opportunity as Nanai charges it forward. Quick play the ball as well.
There they go. Oh, nice pass.
Borton Thompson.
Nice, good in.
And Borton Thompson on a good cutout pass from TJ Ashford. Chops back on the inside, and the Warriors open the scoring at home.
Yeah, that was some absolutely beautiful footy from the Warriors. They were supplied with a quick play the ball. They go down the blind side. Beautiful cutout pass and some really good footwork as well. And the Warriors are in first 4-0.
It was a good take by Borton Thompson, who sort of caught it in mid-air and chopped back on the inside of Tomo Mack. Mack was sort of left flat-footed. And Borton Thompson, too big, too strong, too quick.
The Warriors need to keep this going though.
First try of the season for Borton Thompson after many people have been saying over the last couple of weeks that he does need to step up and stamp his mark in that side. In fact, that's his first try in the SRL, so a big moment for the young man. Convert by Miguel. It's 6 points to 0 here at Auckland. Jack, you were down on the sideline before the game started. The Warriors were warming up down the embankment end of the field. I saw you talking to Chance Bunce before the game, and what was Chance Bunce talking to you about?
Yeah, I really love the access we get to the players. I got to go in and talk to both teams, and Buncey was really adamant about playing a full 80-minute performance tonight. He said they've been really good in patches throughout the season, but he wants a consistent 80-minute performance from his side, which is one of the reasons why Logan Strange, of course, has ended up on the bench. He wants to keep that momentum going when his big boppers like John Nanai go off. He was really speaking to his side a lot during that, during the warm-up, especially the halves. He wants to keep the pressure on Brisbane this whole game. He won't be too happy with their start, but I think that he'll have a good game plan to target the Brisbane Broncos. He knows how dangerous they are. He knows that they can explode at any point in the game, and he's really been adamant about playing an 80-minute performance tonight. That's what I really got out of Buncey, is that he really wants an 80-minute performance from his game, from his team.
Thanks, Jack. And Ford will play the ball. It's the Broncos in a good position at the moment to hit back. Final tackle now. It's Lennox Prakash to play the ball. Diab goes flat to Cherry Evans this time. Again, the chase is not really coming through. Magali, no real pressure on him on that right side, and maybe the Broncos halves need to talk to each other a little bit more and just try and figure out exactly what their game plan is. 20 minutes gone. It's the Warriors up 6 points to 0.
He's held there.
I'm wondering if Sam Herbin might need to get into first receiver a little bit more, because at the moment Levi Raymond and also Cherry Evans aren't quite coming up with the best options kicking wise. They don't really have another kicker on the field. Coda Diab, of course, is a bit more suited to the forwards with his play style. So, maybe Sammy Herbert needs to take some kicks and, just add another element to their kicking game and their controlling game, because at the moment the Broncos halves aren't quite hitting the mark.
As Weston chucks through the middle. Yeah, it was Levi Raymond who really struggled with kicking last week, only managing 68 metres. It was Evans who took control of the boot, kicking close to 150, but still those numbers aren't huge. You look at Josh Corcoran, 222 metres last week, and Jai McCartney, 149. Massive metres compared to that Broncos halves combination. Veredo, another offload. There's Diab in support. But you are right, Jack. It's the halves that really need to click for the Broncos. They're not the most inexperienced halves. Cherry Evans and Levi Roman, both gold-rated players, coming up against arguably one of the inexperienced teams of this high this time for Awatiri.
Good take.
And it was a good take by the young rookie centre.
Right, here's tackle one.
Almost got away from Justin Plays as well.
That's
As we see a forward pass. Liam Rogers just slightly overrunning that pass from Sage Magala. And the Broncos will pack it down 20 metres in, 10 minutes out from the try line as Evans tries to crank it up straight from the get-go. Only a metre out, so the Broncos set the score and opens up. Levi Raymond just goes straight through the middle. And it's time for the Broncos to get their first try of the game.
Yeah, look, Kamish, when Diab got into dummy half, I honestly thought that he should try and crash over it. They looked really thin in and around the ruck. He chose to go to Raymond, and this huge hole just opened up, and Raymond, quick off the mark, he went straight in. I want to touch a little bit on the kicking. We were just talking about that earlier. I think because Levi Raymond, especially, is so dangerous, and we know how good of a playmaker he is, I wonder if there's just a lot of pressure on Levi. I think that's one way teams try and shut him down, but not giving him much time. So maybe that's affected his kicking a little bit, which is why I think getting Sammy Herbert in there to take some kicks will take a lot of pressure off of Levi. As for the Warriors, they were in control, that 6-0 lead, but they've just made stupid errors, and that's really let them down to start this game.
Putting themselves under a lot of pressure at the moment, Auckland, as they continue to play this game deep in their own half. Levi Raymond, his 5th try of his career, the 3rd this season for Levi Raymond, arguably having his best season in the SRL. 3rd try of the season, only scored 1 try in each of season 1 and 2.
3. Hands
And
away.
assists-wise, he is set to break his record that was set in season 1 of 7 for the season.
He's held there.
Currently sitting
4.
on 6.
Move.
So the Broncos number 7 definitely not laying down and really trying to get his side into finals footy for the first time since season 1. It's Evans, his halves partner, going into Borton Thompson. The opening try scorer this evening.
He's held there.
Not too much wind to think of or to speak of tonight, Jack, but a little bit of dew on the grass. It was raining earlier on this afternoon. Thunderstorms planned, but nothing seems to have arisen at the
3
moment.
back with me.
Looking down
He's held
south,
there. Let him go. Let him go.
doesn't look to be any concerns, but do you think the dew could be having a little bit of an issue
Hands
for
off.
both sides with these early errors in the first half?
Yeah, for sure. I think that it's a bit of a slippery surface at the moment.
5.
The playmakers really haven't had much cohesion at the moment. They're really trying to build a bit of fluency in and around the playmaking of it there, and that's another poor kick from McCartney, taken easily by Weston, way too deep. Because there's so much dew, there's been so many errors, so many stoppages, no one's able to get any type of consistency in play, meaning there's lots of stop-starts. It just makes it hard for halves, especially McCartney, who plays such a natural game, to play naturally and play instinct footy when there's so many stoppages. So I definitely think that that's affecting playmaking at the moment. I also wonder if maybe it's a bit of a tactic from the Warriors to try and kick short and kick shallows. That's a beautiful pass and a dummy half from Kota Diab. But kick short because they know how dangerous that back 3 of the Broncos are. It's where a lot of their tries came from last week, especially that man Michael Crimp, who we've spoken about a lot. So maybe they're just trying to get so they can get down quicker and not give Crimp time and Sam Herban time to use their footwork and wind up.
Confidence player he is, Jai McCartney. As Evans puts it high. Oh, Terry does well for a second time. In fact, he gets away this time. Breaks away from a diving Tyler Weston. Herban's coming across. He's still limping to Herban. Support on the outside was McCartney. Should have thrown it at Terry. But nonetheless, the Warriors up to the 10 as Corcoran busts through the first tackle of Lennox Prakash. Only a metre out here. Ashford goes right. McCartney cut out past the McGallagher. Bunce is smashed in a big tackle. It was Mack coming from the outside. Gets up and plays the ball. McCartney's taken out without the ball. Barner somehow finds Walker. Hot potato stuff from the Warriors.
They are doing everything they can to score. This is committed defence from Brisbane and relentless attack from the Warriors.
Great defence from the Broncos. Final tackle now. It's McGallagher who will play at Ashford dummy half. They go to Corcoran, but it's Veretto leading the charge. Once again, the Broncos defence resolute.
Yeah, and Veretto just gave it to Paddy Corcoran, as he threw him to the ground. Of course, his opposite 13. What about that for some rugby league on your Tuesday night? It was beautiful play from Awateri. He's been great in the air. He made that strong break. Then from there, the Warriors put on some beautiful set pieces. They almost scored a few times. And then Weston and Tomo and Mack, they jam in from their wings and shut down Chance Bunce, who was looking for that cutout pass. Then they go the other way. Bit of a contentious one. Maybe McCartney was taken out without the ball, but regardless, they turned up for each other, the Broncos, and they deserved to defend that set.
Broncos definitely seem to be getting their hands free a lot more this week compared to other weeks. The offloads are coming thick and fast.
And that's when they play their best.
That's how the Broncos play their best. Yeah, that ad-lib style of footy. Arguably two teams who love to play their footy that way. Is a big hit on Chance Bunce. The Broncos number 15, Stephen Shelton, just laying the shoulder on the Warriors skipper. Gets straight back up. Both sides have gone to the bench. Looks like Logan Stranger's on as well.
The Broncos have really lifted at the moment off that big shot. That's really inspired them.
Big defensive set for them as McCartney Goes on the inside and Strange
Held.
cuts back in, testing out that shoulder of Diab. Deciding to kick on the 5th is McCartney. It's a big
That's a
boot
big
he's
hit.
got. And a good chase from the Warriors. Cuts Weston down.
One. Release.
Just short of the halfway. That's Herman through the gap. Testing as usual, Sam Herman. 4 tries so far this season. On the inside they go to Mack. That wing of Tomo Mack and Michael Crimp, one of the best in the competition, as Diab throws it forward to Prakash. Again, this time it's the Broncos just slightly not getting their timing right.
Yeah, Diab, he's obviously in just his... Oh, that's a huge pull from McCartney. That was really risky, but it paid off. But, you know, you talk about the Broncos. Diab, he hasn't played much hooker. I think this is his 2nd or 3rd game in that position this season. And, you know, just a bit of miscommunication and a bit of miscombination between him and Lennox Prakash as Logan Strange. What a run.
He's a beast.
3 hands away.
Takes it up to the 10. McCartney cut out pass to Walker. Walker over the line. We will have to go upstairs. It looked like a late ankle tap, possibly from Tomo or Lennox Prakash. But Walker looks to have slid over the line. The Warriors should have their 2nd try.
He almost bombed it, Walker.
Almost bombed it, but he makes it over the line. Momentum carries him. But what a ball from McCartney.
Absolutely beautiful footy. A beautiful cutout pass. And it just opened up for him. You know, the Broncos have had to do a lot of big defending. We looked at that last set and they just sort of crumbled there. But it was great footwork from Walker and Sage McGalley. This is a really important kick from him to try and get to a converted try lead. It goes away.
Can't quite get it. Hooks it to the left. Great run by Logan Strange that set that one up.
For sure, that was great stuff from him.
A couple of tackle breaks in there. Currently sitting down in 10th on for the season on 5 tackle breaks. Sean Walker, first try since season 1, when he was playing for the Broncos, in fact. So a good effort from him as the Warriors almost cough it up from the restart. A little bit of miscommunication there between TJ Ashford and Chance Bunce, but it's fortunate for them. It was cleaned up and the end goal went backwards.
That's your 2nd.
So 2 minutes till half time, Jack. 10 points to 6. Nothing in it at this stage. Is only a try, an extra try to the Warriors. But what have you made of this first half? Quickly.
Get back. Look at me.
Look, until the first 20 minutes were pretty poor, a lot of errors, but it's opened up a lot in this these last 20 minutes of the half. It's been good to see. I think that whatever team can control the footy for the first 20 minutes of the next half will go a long way to winning this game. I think the halftime chats from Veretto and Justin Plays and also Chance Bunce are going to be very, very important.
I'm sure we'll see a couple of interchange players come on at half time, as it looks as though Warriors might get at least one more play. There's a Herban who came down with it, tried to pivot on that dodgy left knee, and it looks as though it's still giving him a few problems. As he tried to pivot, he just slipped onto over the sideline, and the Warriors with 40 seconds remaining.
Bunce off the scrum. This is going to be dangerous.
They go long to Walker.
Ooh.
Does well to get away from Mack. The Warriors
go left,
5 metres out. Numbers to the left.
Right.
They go right. Daniel Ingo held up in a good tackle. Final play now, possibly. Ashford. McGalley goes long to McCartney.
Oh, good defence.
Good defence on him, and that will be half-time here at Mount Smart. 10 points to 6. It's the Warriors out front at the moment. Welcome back to Mount Smart Stadium. Half time here in Auckland. It's the Warriors holding a slender 4 points lead at the moment. Tries to Nehana Borton-Thompson and Sean Walker. As Justin plays, gets the second half underway.
He's held there.
So an error-ridden first half, you'd have to say, Jack, after both sides coming into this game knowing full well the importance that the 2 points will be here tonight.
Yeah, it's been a really error-riddled game, as you said. A lot of dew out there at the moment, but I think maybe that pressure might be getting to a few of the players a little bit. That's a strong run from Liam Rogers to start the second half. I think that whoever can control the ball and the game for the first 20 minutes, like I said, in the first half, will go a long way towards winning this. Either team can put the other team out of the game in these first 20 minutes, in my opinion.
Warriors getting through their first set of the second half. Sending it deep down to the danger man, Michael Crimp, who's had a quiet first 40 minutes, Jack, and he'll be hoping to really get himself involved as Prakash loses the ball. Possibly a hint of a Warriors hand in there. A couple of the Broncos players.
He's got his advantage. Let's play on.
A couple of the Broncos players talking to the referee, but referee Rasmussen wants to play on. It's Strange with the ball. Good first half off the bench for Strange. Looks as though he has come back on for Daniel Ingo. By the looks of it.
On the kick going.
We've also got Taylor Maxwell's come on for Nehana Borton-Thompson. Probably the best 40 minutes of his career, Nehana Borton-Thompson, and he's been yanked. So probably a predetermined interchange, you'd have to say. The other change is Josh Corcoran has come on for Jai McCartney. The Broncos line up, a couple of changes there as well. Justin Plays and Pete Veretto have gone to the bench. Jack Cahill has come on for Tom O'Mac.
Oh, that's a bad kick from
Not a great kick by Miguel. Dan Mason on for Logan Clark up in the front row. And Jordan Ford has swapped around with Lennox Prakash. Prakash and Mason up in the front row for the second 40 minutes.
Yeah, some interesting changes. Cahill at centre again. I'm wondering if maybe he's wasted out there a little bit. I think he probably is most suited to the halves or maybe hooker. As for the Warriors, you know, moving Joshua Corcoran in for Jai McCartney, I wonder if that's just because Jai obviously had a pretty unhappy first half and Chance Bunce just wants him to come on in the second half a bit later in the forwards and just play a simpler role. I'm not too sure. It's going to be really interesting to see how these changes go for both sides.
Yeah, Josh Corcoran into the halves. It's a tough one for the Warriors. They've got a few players sort of vying for that starting role at the moment. Corcoran had a good game last week, mentioned already, kicking 222 metres. And so he will look to turn that those Broncos outside backs around this freaking 40. As Strange charges well up. This time it's Barner. The Warriors into some good field position now. Tackle 4. Around about 23 metres out on that far sideline as Corcoran gets a good flat pass. Trying to push his way through that Broncos defence. It's Veretto still leading the charge as Corcoran on the toe. Coming through was Bunce. Just didn't quite get the bounce as Spillane has come away with it.
Beautiful hands.
Great hands from the front rower. I know the Warriors have been itching to get their hands on Jack Spillane for season 4. And obviously want to stay at the Broncos. As Justin Plays and Pete Veretto form their lineup, as all captains are doing.
Oh, that's a huge pass.
It's a big pass.
Yeah.
Out to centre field, McCartney, he finds Raymond. So the Broncos a good set here, all the way down to the Warriors territory. Veretto, he puts it on the toe this time. The big second rower deciding to have a bit of a play. Strange cleans it up, and the Warriors have survived for now, but the Broncos will be wanting to force an error.
That's your second.
Really put some pressure on this Warriors lineup.
Honestly, that was probably one of the best kicks from the Warriors, short kicking wise, all night, and it was from their 13. So I think Veretto might be putting his hand up, take a few of the kicks in this second half. He obviously was not very happy with his half's performance in the first. Oh, so there's a huge gap. Liam Rogers goes straight through, but he throws an intercept straight to Dan Mason. And Dan Mason now, he's making some
bumps
good
on the
moves.
inside, Rogers, and a little bit excited, I think, in front of open territory in front of him. Throwing away a silly pass there, and the Warriors continue to put pressure on themselves as they did in the first 10 to 15 minutes of the first half. But the Broncos really need to convert here. Inside Warriors territory, it's Evans. Up to the 20, Diab looking for a quick play. The ball goes right. They find Ford, who's sort of charging back on that inside line. Diab goes to Raymond, out to the wing towards Tom O'Mac, but it's Walker. He's had a pretty good game so far. Walker, and he gets away as well.
He's gone.
He's gone. Veretto chasing. But the Warriors centre three-quarter will score under the posts. His second try of the game. His second of the season. Sean Walker, the Warriors strike from 100 metres out.
Great run from Sean Walker. It was an alright kick from Brisbane, but he just puts on some electric footwork, shows how quick he really is. He burnt the Warriors fullback Sam Herbert, and Pete Veretto didn't have enough legs to catch him, but this could be a game changer. We know the Broncos, they can score points from anywhere, but the Warriors, they've got a 10-point buffer as long as Miguel doesn't shank this kick. You know, they can really start to manage their way through to victory in this game. Obviously, they have to keep playing footy against this Brisbane outfit, but it definitely gives them a good buffer to be able to build a platform and win this game.
We all know what happened last week. The Broncos coming back from 24 points down at half-time, running down the Parramatta Eels in the last play of the game. These two sides have met each other twice before. It was the Warriors at home in season 1, going down to the Broncos, 24 points to 12.
He's held there. That's
And then last season it was the Warriors winning 24 points to 10 once again here in Auckland. So all 3 games between these two sides have been played in Auckland.
He's held 3.
But it's one apiece at the moment. Big game last season, that game here in Auckland. The Warriors won 24 points to 12. 2 tries to David Barner, 2 tries to Chance Bunce. Both those players in here, and as Bunce, as we see, almost gets away. It was Herbin, that last ditch effort, taking him down as Miguel kicks, and again it's a poor kick to end the set from the Warriors, still persisting with that short kicking game.
Yeah, not a good end to the set at all from the Warriors. They really made some inroads attacking wise. Chance Bunce made some really strong breaks. You know, this is where the Broncos can really come back and to bite them with that silly kick. I do understand what Miguel was trying to do, but you know, I think he's got to go a bit deeper as they go inside to Herbin, and Herbin puts on some footwork. Now the Broncos are flying downfield.
56 minutes gone here. Tuesday night action in the Simulation Rugby League Premiership. It's the Warriors up 16 points to 6.
Lennox Prakash just clutched at his ankle after that tackle. He's gone straight to the sideline. He's limping really bad.
Big news for the Broncos.
Oh, no, he's still on.
Simons this time breaks through. You can see Prakash in the background humping down the sideline, but Simons will score for the Warriors as they go bang bang in the 50-minute mark.
This is devastating from the Broncos. 2 big blows. Their big blocker, Lennox Prakash, injures his ankle, and then straight after that, a huge run and another try for the Warriors. This is going to be a real character builder.
Isaac Simons is the player the Warriors need to start firing. Their gold-rated player to start the season, been playing on the wing for much of it. but hasn't really been shining, I guess, as much as they would have hoped. Now that try just there could have saved the Warriors' season.
This is a huge coming up. What a run. Isaac Simons, you saw how excited he was when he got that. He was absolutely screaming, beating his chest. He was excited. You know, there's been a lot of pressure on him lately, as you alluded to, Kamish. But this is going to show the Broncos' character now. A lot has gone wrong for them in this game. They've lost one of their star forwards. They're down 22-6. They've got 20 minutes left to lock up a final spot or risk losing it in the next 2 weeks.
He's held there. That's one. Move.
So back underway here in Auckland.
That's your second.
The Warriors
Of him now.
blowing that scoreboard out at the moment, 22-6. After it was 10-6 at half-time. Two tries in that third quarter as we close down towards the 60-minute mark.
That's tackle 4, hands off. Held.
The Broncos needing another comeback 2 weeks in a row. Have they got it in them?
He's held
Look,
there.
it's going to be interesting. I think one thing, Parramatta probably got a bit complacent. I don't think they expected the Broncos to come into it from 24-0 down, but the Warriors, they know that the Broncos can pull it out of the hat, so they should be fired up. They know that this next 20 minutes is huge for their season. I cannot wait for this next 20 minutes. There's a lot on the line.
Good tackle there from David Barner on Michael Crimp,
Held, 2.
who looked
Great
as though
shake.
he was going to be entering into the backfield on a bit of a foot race with Chance Bunce, but Barner
3.
managed to just clip his ankles, slow him down just enough for Bunce to grab him around the waist.
Yeah, that's huge from Barner. When you realise that Michael Crimp is the guy that has gotten the Broncos back into these games where they've had to make big comebacks with just some beautiful running, some great X factor that he's got. You saw Barner with just a huge effort. That's really good to see from him, as that's a shot. Oh, but they almost, and the offload. Oh, wow. I don't know what just happened there, but the Broncos got so close.
Jack Spillane came away with it. Looks like Barreto tried to put the kick in. Referee said it went backwards. Sure it went forwards from where I was sitting, unless it came off the knee. And then it looked like Spillane came away with it and tried to offload, and the Warriors cleaned it up. So still things not really clicking for the Broncos down that end of the field. We've seen it time after time
Look at me.
during tonight's game. Just that final tackle option not quite clicking.
Did the last. He's held
No,
there.
if you're going to come back for a big deficit like this, everything needs to go right for you, and you've got to build pressure. You can't just keep kicking, expecting Michael Crimp to do something special. He's trying, but
He's trying,
the Warriors
all
are
right.
onto it.
That's one.
The Warriors
He's
are onto
trying.
it. They need to find something else. Sam Herbert's got to get more involved. Levi Raymond was really involved in the first half. I haven't seen much of him in this second half. He needs more ball as well.
2 kicks in a row from the Warriors to end their set.
Oh, Wayne
Heading
straight
down
through.
towards that wing of Michael Crimp. Both times looking threatening with ball in hand.
Back to 10.
Surely they have to stay on that right side as
Oh.
plays comes off the shoulder from the pass of Jason Farah. And the Broncos once again cough up the ball.
Yeah, and didn't the Warriors let him know about it? There's a bit of niggle in this one. I don't think Justin Plays knew he was getting the ball there, but I think it was a last-minute decision from Jason Farrer, I think, give him the ball, and Justin Plays was not happy when that pass hit his shoulder and hit the deck. But the Warriors, they've got 15 minutes left, keep their season alive. The Broncos, they've got 15 minutes left to salvage this game and lock up a final spot. This is getting really intense.
The old no-look pass from Jason Farah didn't come off this time. And they will want him to put that one away in the pocket and just play controlled footy as they could have gone. And Linux Prakash, Tomo Mack
Tackle 5. Hold.
on the outside. It's the Warriors, though, with ball in hand as Magale kicks from just outside the Broncos 40. This time it's Weston who jinks his way around the first
Release.
line of Warriors defence and gets out just short of the halfway line.
Well, nice pass. Oh, Diab straight through.
Fends off the tackle of Corcoran.
2 on the keep going.
The Broncos surely needing to score now. Barreto
Held.
charging it up towards the 30, pumping the legs, trying to eke out as much as he can. This time it's Clark chucking himself through the line. 11 metres out, Diab goes hard and flat to
Big
Spillane.
shot.
Big hit home in by McCartney. Gets up and play the ball.
Oh, good kick,
Evans
though.
to Herman. Sam Herman.
Oh,
Borton
easy.
Thompson's there, but Herman's got the momentum. We're going to go upstairs, but I think Sam Herman has scored for the Broncos.
Yeah, he's definitely got that ball down. What a set from Brisbane. They rolled downfield. Some big runs by men like Pete Veretto and Logan Clark, who's been very underrated for them this season. He's had a great couple of weeks for the Broncos in their revival. And then that huge hit from McCartney. I thought that would have slowed down the Broncos' momentum a bit, but a quick play the ball from the man who he smashed. And it was a beautiful kick into the in-goal. Sam Herman reaps the rewards. Still had plenty of work to do, though. He had to show a lot of strength to get that ball down up against Nahina Thompson. But he managed to get that ball down, and now only 10 points difference, still 10 minutes to go. We know what the Broncos can do. The Warriors, are they going to get a bit nervous? The pressure's on.
We have seen it once before, not too long ago. 12 and a half minutes remaining here at Mount Smart as Magala gets the game back underway, sends it down towards that southern end of Mount Smart Stadium. 23,500 have packed into Mount Smart Stadium tonight. One of a record crowd for season 3 in the SRL.
Hill, 3, back with me.
Tell you what, I hope they bought extra hot dogs this week as Burrito.
Oh,
Good pass on the inside to Diab.
Tackle.
6
Hands
to go.
away.
Burrito seems to be getting the hands free an awful lot at the moment. Herman on the inside.
That's one.
Looking dangerous. The Broncos
Hill,
definitely
let him
upping
go.
the ante at the moment.
will
Out
we
the
see some
back.
ball to Michael Crimp? Is he the man? Or are they, planning on using Tyler Weston instead? Using Crimp as a bit of a decoy. It's going to be interesting to see how they play this next 10 minutes, the Broncos.
3, hands
Got a
off.
tackle reset as well. It's tackle 3.
Oh,
It's
that
up
was-
there as Clark comes away with it. Ran for 104 metres last week, Logan Clark.
On the 10.
3 line breaks, and we saw exactly what he's capable of.
5, markers lock in.
Just the lead up to that Sam Herman try. So final tackle. Raymond decides to run it. You said you haven't seen much of Raymond.
Bunts it.
Bunts picks it up. One-handed off the ground. Herman matches him for speed.
Release.
Takes him down only 35 metres out, but a good quick play the ball. The Warriors cleaning up at the back well.
That was massive for the Warriors. It was a pretty good kick from Levi Raymond, but his chase let him down, and Bunts made a huge break. They were in a lot of trouble, the Warriors, in that set. I want to talk a little bit about the play the ball speed. The Broncos, they've been wrestling a little bit in and around the ruck, holding down just long enough to not draw a penalty, but slow down the Warriors a bit, especially in this second half. But you saw the Broncos with ball in hand. Their play the ball speed, especially in that set, was huge. The Warriors were not able to get Spirit marker at all, and that gave the halves a lot of time to be able to bring their forwards on the ball, hence making more momentum. So, that was a really good result from Bunts. They were in a lot of trouble, the Warriors.
Corcoran caught on the final. So another last tackle option that hasn't worked out.
Hill. 1,
McCartney
release.
looks to be back on the field. Taking a good tackle.
2,
That time
hands
it's
away.
to Tatum Maxwell, or is it Nahan Borton Thompson? As Herman cuts back on the left. Around a tiring John Nanai.
Hill. 3.
Full 80 minutes tonight for the big prop forward.
Hill. 4. Move.
Had a big game last week, John Nanai. And always
Oh, what a
expected to
pass.
5, hold on the 10.
have a big one as plays. He's hitting a big tackle though. Gets up slowly from it. I wonder if it's going to come down to that injury earlier on for Lennox Prakash. I haven't heard much from the physios on the sideline about how he's holding up down there. But that injury, that will have dented the Broncos' hopes
That's your
in
second.
the second 40.
Yeah, Commish, I'm just on the phone with them at the moment. Of course, I want to stay in the box, given that we've got 5 minutes left to go in this game, so it's really coming down to the wire. It looks like an ankle sprain. He should be right for next week, but he may have to come off the bench.
Bunce goes through the middle. The Warriors tackle 5 options, haven't been the best. They're about 20 metres out. A try here would certainly seal it as Corcoran does get it away. Testing kick for Western. He does well as the Warriors defence come down on him. Led by McCartney. Magala was right there. And the Warriors trying to force an error now in the Broncos 10.
Spirited defence from the Warriors. The Broncos, you think they probably have to find points in this set, but they're nowhere near where they want to be at the moment.
Ashford trying to get the one-on-one strip as you see Borton Thompson just held off momentarily. Rogers stepping up as well. Borton Thompson and Ashford again combining. This time stopping their former teammate Jordan Ford. Final tackle, the Broncos deep inside their own half. Barreto almost getting in the way of the kick. It's Simons to return it. The Warriors, he's already scored one tonight. Isaac Simons straight through the middle, and he will seal it with 3 minutes to go. The Warriors will get the 2 points at home.
Isaac Simons, what a run. He has locked up the game and he's kissing the Warriors emblem on his jersey. That means a lot to him to be able to win the game for the Warriors. We know how much pressure he's under. We've already alluded on it. But that is a great run by the New South Wales centre. Was playing on the wings tonight for the Warriors. It's been a good performance from the Warriors. Overall, I think that they've got a lot of things they could still work on, but definitely for me, one of their better performances. In fact, probably their best performance of the season. As for the Broncos, they're going to be disappointed with this game, of course. They could have locked up a final spot, but now the Warriors, they're still in the hunt. The finals is not locked up yet.
Isaac Simons' 5th try of the season moves up to 2nd in the standings behind the Panthers' Brodie Kennedy. But what a story it's been for Isaac Simons tonight. We mentioned at the start of the game he needs to step up. The Warriors need someone in their outside backs to really start firing towards this business end of the season. And we've seen 3 tries from their wingers. 1 to Nahana Borton Thompson, 2 to Isaac Simons, and also 2 to Sean Walker. So all 3 players who are vying for that wing spot really putting their hand up. 1.5 minutes remaining here at Auckland. It's the Warriors who are going to move up into 3rd on the ladder, jumping ahead of the Broncos, leapfrogging the Rabbitohs, but don't go anywhere. Coming up next, it's the Raiders at home. Sorry, it's the Rabbitohs at home at ANZ Stadium, taking on the Raiders. A do-or-die game for the Raiders in particular. Well, that's all she wrote here at Auckland as the siren is about to sound. Pete Barreto finds Cherry Evans on the inside. But the Warriors bag the 2 points at home. And what a game, what a comeback. Keeping the Broncos almost scoreless in that second half. Not allowing them that big comeback that we saw last week. Taking the Broncos out 28 points to 12.
Yeah, they deserve a lot of raps for that performance. The Warriors, they had a lot more possession than the Broncos. But overall, I think they were definitely the better side. You look at the way, they took down a lot of the Broncos' big guns. Sam Herbert obviously still made some big inroads in attack, but they did a really good job on him overall. And, the big one for me was Michael Crimp. He had a couple of really strong runs, but they were able to minimise his impact as well. That meant the Broncos weren't getting their set started as well at times, and I think that they just played a really solid, I wouldn't say an 80-minute performance like Bunsey was demanding at the warm-up, but it was definitely their best performance of the season.
Completions, 18 out of 25 for the Broncos, 26 out of 29 for the Warriors. Possession definitely on the Warriors' side. Some big minutes there for some big players in the Warriors and some big meters as well. Chance Bunce running for 213. Isaac Simons again backing it up 2 weeks in a row. 209 metres. But look at that, David Barner, the big second rower, Mr. Consistent. 193 metres at the age of, I don't know how old he is. He is still putting in a performance. And then you look down that list, other players putting in TJ Ashford, one of his best games of the season. And then flicking to the Broncos. Again, some big numbers there. Coda Diab played well, I thought. Sam Herbin, 7 line breaks. But the Warriors just too strong up front here tonight.
Yeah, David Barney, look at his stats, those 193 metres and 26 runs. That's huge. But it was his plays off the ball that I think were just incredible. You look at that chase he gave on Michael Crimp. He gave a lot of effort throughout that game, and that can't be measured with stats. I think the Warriors' effort outweighed the Broncos' effort tonight.
Line breaks as well. Good breaks for the backs, for the Warriors in those back threes. 3 line breaks for Logan Strange. Tackle break-wise, Patrick Corcoran, 4 tackle breaks.
It was
That's
very
move
awkward in
him
the
up
middle.
the list as well. Again, not much kicking for either side. It was Cherry Evans who did the majority of it. Levi Raymond backing it up as well. But overall, a win for the Warriors, 28 points to 12. They will bag the 2 points. But Jack, any final thoughts?
Yeah, look, I'm really excited to see how this finals race continues. We've got another big game next to maybe decide a final spot. It's going to be interesting. The Warriors and the Broncos, they're both still in the hunt, but the Warriors are the victors tonight.